Surveys and statistics show that 30–60% of Japanese people have cheated on a partner at some point, even if it was just once. Over 60% of those people never felt guilty about it. Adultery isn't something that's socially accepted, but it is something that's pretty normalized, especially with men, which makes it easier for men to be forgiven. As for the women, it's not quite like that, but the number of cases keeps increasing. I'm Naka, this is Japatonic, and today we'll discuss cheating in Japan. Well, let's start with the typical reasons why people commit adultery. Starting from the beginning, many Japanese men and women get married for social status reasons. It's very common for people to ask you in any social conversation or at work if you're married. It's a very common and people are curious about it. And a lot of people feel like saying they're single makes them a loser. And if they're married or in a relationship, they're a winner. This results in forced couples, or course. Many women get pressure from their mothers and grandmothers telling them to get married, and the same thing happens with men. And many, because of this pressure, rush to find a partner and get married very quickly. And of course, in Japan there are 600,000 marriages a year, and the number of divorces per year is 200,000. So, in other words, 1 out of every 3 marriages fails, which doesn't mean that the other 400,000 are successful marriages, because there are cases of cheating where they find out about it, but it doesn't end up in a divorce. I don't think what I'm going to say is anything out of the ordinary, but anyway, the lack of intimacy between couples is one of the biggest reasons why there is cheating in relationships. Sexless couples, as they're called, are quite common in marriages, especially between those with children or pregnancies. There are couples counseling centers where it's very noticeable that there's a lot of cheating during pregnancy or right after having children. From that stage on, they stop having sex, becoming sexless. In the case of men, there's a very easy access to experiences that are on the edge of what counts as cheating or not. According to Japanese society, it's a gray area that may or may not count as adultery. And this is what I mean, all those nighttime activities, especially prostitution. There are many people who don't consider prostitution as a form of cheating. There are even women who accept it, or women who don't want to have relations with their husbands, and they say, "Go to a brothel. I don't have a problem with it." And that's something that really does happen. Because society accepts that sometimes a man is just looking for some adventure, for some action. And that's also why sometimes, for men, it's seen as normal. Because it's simply seen as wanting to have some fun in a certain way, and that's why they can be forgiven more. But women aren't forgiven so easily because it's considered that they do it with emotion. On the other hand, does the man pay for the service or just do it because he's a man? Now, points to highlight that are often repeated among women are 5. 1 is high self-esteem, like the pride of a woman who thinks she's too much woman for the man she's with, which would be similar to the second point, which is that they don't receive the same love that they give. Then there's the curiosity of having different sexual experiences, since their relationship with their current partner might become boring. Another one is the influence among friends, not in the sense that their friends tell them to leave their partner and have other adventures, but rather because during a conversation, a girl who is in a relationship and with her other friends, they're in a place where they have more adventures, and maybe out of envy or because they want to be like them, and feel more included and engaged in their friends' conversation. Maybe that's when they realize and say, "I want to have the experiences my friends are having." And the other one is revenge. Women who find out their partner is cheating on them, and they do the same thing. But when I talk about revenge itself, it's not revenge per se. It's not that they do it just because they want revenge on their partner, but rather, it's like they felt just like the person who cheated on them, but they didn't act on it. And when they find out, they said, "That's it, I can't take it anymore, and I'm going to do the same thing." Well, Among what I mentioned about couples counseling centers, where they deal with many cases of couples who are about to break up or who have already broken up. Among the cases involving pregnant women, there are many women who find out, who realize that their partner is cheating on them, but they don't do anything. They don't say anything because they're afraid of, ending up raising a son or daughter as a single mother. And then there are those who already have children. There are so many cases of people who don't have a relationship, who don't get along, but they keep up a fake relationship just for the sake of their child's status. This way, at school, the child isn't viewed as someone without a father or mother. The thing with divorces involving children is quite complicated, because in most cases of divorces with children, the child loses the father's last name and takes the mother's last name instead. It's common for fathers to avoid responsibility for their children after divorce. Only 25% of divorces with children involve the father paying child support. That means in 75% of cases, fathers completely disappear from the family. That's almost the typical part of divorce when kids are young. And these couples who pretend to have a good marriage are called kamen fufu. Fufu means marriage, and kamen means mask. So it's like saying a masked marriage or a fake marriage. But yeah, once the son or daughter becomes an adult, they get divorced right away. Or when they come of age, become independent, or leave the house. There are couples who really had it completely decided that if the child graduates or whatever, they get divorced. And that's something that happens a lot. Then there are also cases of people who get along well with their partner, who like their partner as a life companion, but lose sexual attraction. These are also cases of people cheating on their partner, only in search of adventure. Well, this can also happen in any country in the world, but I just wanted to point out that those cases also exist. But, well, let's say that's one of the biggest problems they have. And this issue is unique to Japanese society, the lack of communication, as Japanese people don't communicate well enough. Even if they're a couple, it doesn't matter how much they love each other. When there's no communication at all, one ends up acting behind their partner's back. Or, for example, we have men who work outside the home all day, and they come home tired. They see the woman has an easy, comfortable life since she's home all day, caring for the house and children. And of course, by not valuing the woman's work, the woman ends up being the first to cheat on her husband because of the lack of appreciation from her partner. And in the same way, there may be men who think that a woman is someone who only does easy things and only asks for money, and therefore, he wants to look for an affair with someone who is kinder to him, who appreciates how hard he works. And the pandemic didn't help much, because there were many cases of men who were very stressed or in a bad mood because of the virus and having to stay at home. As a result, there were many cases where it was later discovered that the husband's bad mood was because he couldn't leave the house to cheat on his wife. And in the same way, there were many cases of men who, despite the virus, still went out to cheat on their wives. Now, believe it or not, cheating on your partner is a crime. But only in cases of marriage. If there is a marriage. If a person discovers with evidence that their partner is cheating on them, they have the right to monetary compensation, a kind of fine. How can someone sometimes get the evidence? Well, there are private detectives who here are called uwaki chosa, but the uwaki chosa, uwaki basically means to cheat. The uwaki chosa specialize in following couples who might be unfaithful, and they guarantee that if they don't end up getting proof that your partner is cheating on you, they don't charge you any money. They only charge you if they discover that you were actually being cheated on. By having the evidence from these detectives, you can ask for your partner to pay, or for the person they're cheating with to pay. How does that work? If your husband is cheating on you, let's say it doesn't make much sense for your husband to pay you. If there's a divorce, sure. The fine price change based on whether there's a divorce or not. I mean, they consider the level of damage. If it was serious enough to cause a divorce, then the fine is bigger. And then they can choose if the husband or their partner have to pay. Maybe their partner has more money. Who knows? But there's also the possibility where they forgive their husband, but have the woman pay. And the price can go up to $50,000. That's the maximum amount. Statistically, it's pretty hard to get the numbers, but oh well. According to some websites and some statistics, Japan is ranked number 8 among countries with the highest number of cheating. In other cases, it ranked 26. It's nonsense. The country with the most cases of cheating among couples was Thailand, and after that, all European countries. But anyway, that was a little talk about what adultery is like in Japan. Hope you learned something new. See you next time. Greetings to you, your family, pets, and to your stupid neighbor. Bye.